I'm Aaron Neck with Willamette Week, and this is our Distant Voices series. And today I'm talking with Ezra Ace Caraeff, the owner of. Well, why don't you tell me all the names of the drinking establishments that you currently own, the four open places in the place to work?
Sure. We own the Old Gold, bar called Paydirt, Tough Luck, and High Top Tavern.
And you're working on opening a fifth, right?
We are, yeah. There'll be a fifth one called Holy Ghost, which is opening on in the Gladstone area sometime in the future, if there is a future.
Well, let's start with the present. When did you realize you were going to have to shut down the four bars you have?
We shut it down a couple days before the governor's announcement. We, feels a long time ago. We kind of saw the writing on the wall. We talked to a lot of our staff. People became less and less comfortable. The bars were still busy. We felt like that, that last weekend was a really busy weekend. There were birthday parties. There were, laser games. There were things. It was like a normal weekend. It just felt off. We realized that, we'd have to close eventually. We wanted to close on our own terms. We also had this idea that if we knew we had to lay off majority of our staff. And so if we were able to lay everybody off in advance before most people got laid off, they'd be able to apply for unemployment quicker.
No, that didn't
work successfully. And at the time it was like, oh, that's a really good idea. The reality of it was that that didn't work. It wasn't our fault, but it didn't work that way. And we kept managers on for as long as we can. To this day, we paid the staff that has benefits. We paid full benefits for even while being closed. But it was hard. It was, we have about 45 people. And so we've never laid off anyone. So laying off 45 people, or so in one night was a lot.
How many people have you brought back with the reopening?
So we've been opening them one at a time. So we opened the Old Gold yesterday. We brought back essentially the full staff. We've had one of all the bars, we've talked to people in advance to see their comfort level. This has definitely been a decision that we haven't been like, oh, this is what we're doing and we're doing it. We've definitely made sure people, have a voice in this. We've had one person who decided they didn't want to come back, which is totally fine. We respect that decision. We're not going to hold a gun to anyone else's head. It's also tricky because, majority of our staff still gets the unemployment kicker. So they're actually taking less money to come back to work right now. And I think that expires at the end of July. People are concerned, will people be tipping? Like when you look at, when you're doom scrolling on Twitter, all you see is angry people, probably named Karen, yelling at, Trader Joe's employees for not wearing masks. And then, is that going to happen to us? So there's a lot of kind of unanswered questions that none of us can really answer.
The Old Gold has a patio. How else are you keeping people socially distant in a bar?
Sure. So Multnomah County has done there's some programs where, they'll close some streets. That bar in particular is a little tricky because it's on a really busy street like Killingsworth, which is a single lane street each way. So with buses and everything else, it kind of felt irresponsible to even apply for that program. I don't know if we would have got it if we applied. There is an empty lot next to us by the same property owner. So we reached out to him. He gave us tentative approval to use it. We reached out to the OLCC and they allowed us to expand our license there. So we have additional seating out there, and we've rearranged some seating. We have very little seating inside. There's obviously no bar stools. We have 4 tables inside, but we have plenty of tables outside. So we have 2 patios, and then in the short time that we've been open, which has really just been one day, it's been really full without being full. Like it feels very odd. But it's been busy, but it never feels like you're busy. I sat out there last night with my family, and it felt good. It felt good to drink a beer in sunshine. I didn't know I missed that so much. So it's just a matter of kind of taking advantage of as much space as possible, and then trying to not think about what happens when it rains.
What happens when it rains?
We'll all go out of business. I don't know. I really don't know. If we're still in phase one, we can't pay rent on 4 tables, and I assume most anyone else can either. I don't know. It's it goes against sort of all our instincts to not think for the future. But at this point, we're just in this weird survival mode where if we didn't do anything, we'd go out of business. If we did this, maybe we can survive longer. Even if we have to close. Once it starts raining again. Maybe we can get tents. But do people want to go under tents with other people? Right now everyone wants to be outside, and I'm one of them. I can't blame them. So I don't know.
What hiccups did you experience on the first night?
None. I mean, we experienced some so we set up an all remote ordering system. So there's no going to the bar. There's no standing in line. There's no congregating. You order from your phone. Your table, you sit at a table that's available, you order from your phone, there's a number on the table, you put that number in, the food comes out to you, our staff wears masks, it's a really orderly procedure and took a lot of work to get that established. There were some hiccups with, the ordering system. Sometimes people forgot to put the table numbers, sometimes we forgot how to make drinks, but for the most part, it was really pretty seamless, there was a lot of work getting to that point. But it worked pretty well, and people were really nice. It was great. It was a really nice experience. It was nice to see people we haven't seen in a while. For a lot of people, it was just that kind of, small returns to normalcy that we all kind of crave. Where some people just wanted a glass of wine and a salad, and they were able to get that without having to do the dishes at the end.
So there are two big worries as bars reopen. One is that they'll become super spreaders. And the other is that whether or not, even if they don't, that cases will rise so rapidly that the governor's going to have to shut them back down again, whether or not that's fair. Are those two things weighing on your mind?
Sure. With everything else, we don't want to be in a situation where our staff gets sick. We don't want to be in a situation where our customers get sick. And so, it's a delicate balance where it's in the end of the day, if the question is whether or not we need to stay in business or people get sick, we're just going to go out of business. I mean, that's a decision we make. I don't think that's a strong stance. It shouldn't be. We made custom masks for entire staff, like a lightweight mask that you can wear when it's hot out, especially in the kitchen. It's really hard for kitchen staff to wear masks because they're so hot. We've provided masks to people. We provide sanitizers, gloves, of course, all those other things too. And we want to make sure that they're okay with doing it. But we understand that that's the risk. We can do everything right, and another bar across town could do everything wrong, and that bar's, impact is going to be far greater than ours. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is just do what I know is, the best thing for us, and for our staff.